Welcome and thank you for attending the BSME Participant Ready webinar today. If you have not already, please access the visual part of this webinar by typing in bsme.glance.net into your browser and entering in the access code 2055. My name is Kara Wilkinson and I'll be your host for today's session, which is slated for about 20 minutes with a question period following. Today we will focus on an in-depth overview of the survey process and highlight all areas and options available to you. As well, we will offer you some handy tips to make the process that much smoother for you and your team. We're thrilled to have you participating this year, which marks our 11th year of the Best Small and Medium Employers Study. So let's begin. Here are the key dates of the study timeline and when your results will become available. For both cycle timeframes, June 15th marks the deadline for the HR survey. For the March-April cycle, paper employee surveys must be received by April 21st. All employee online and leadership team surveys must be received by April 30th. In early May, your quick results will become available, and your in-depth reporting will be available on June 15th. If you're surveying in May-June, your paper surveys are due by June 20th. All other employee and leadership surveys are due by June 30th. Your quick results will become available in early July, and our online in-depth reporting becomes available for August 15th. For this round of the study, you can choose to survey anytime within our March, April, or May, June timeframe cycles. We recommend choosing an internal 2 to 3 week time period, as most employees will respond better when they have a shorter deadline in sight. If you are a new participant or want to maximize your response rates, we suggest choosing an earlier time frame. So essentially any time but the last 2 weeks of April or June. This will give you the wiggle room to extend your internal time frame in case you need to boost your response rates. There are 3 surveys to complete, all of which are offered in both French and English. The first is our Employee Opinion Survey, which takes about 10 to 20 minutes to complete and is available in both our online and paper formats. Second, we have our Leadership Team Survey, which is only online. It'll take the same 10 to 20 minutes, and it's very similar to the Employee Survey. However, the questions are, of course, directed to those in a more senior role. Our final survey is the HR survey, which is your organizational information only, and new this year, by popular request, the survey has been drastically reduced in size. This survey is to be filled out by a member or a group of people, usually within your HR team. It is to be completed online and takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Upon request, we can certainly send you a sample of this HR survey, and that way you can print it out and collect your answers beforehand. The HR survey is a requirement for our Best Employers competition, and again, the final deadline for both cycles is June 15th. If not already, a representative from our data team will be contacting you shortly to discuss and confirm your setup options and to have your links confirmed and sent to you. This is an important step, so please give careful thought into how you would like to receive your results. If you would like granular results, we must capture this at the time of setup, as after the survey begins, it would be too late. So first, let's take a look at what's required to complete your leadership team details for those that will be filling out the leadership team survey. To determine who should be on this list, we suggest only including the most senior members of your leadership team, for example, your CEO, president, CFO, and so on. Or in any words, anyone who is involved in making strategic or process changes throughout your organization. For most small and medium organizations in general, this means about 6 to 8 leaders maximum. We will require the job role titles of your leaders, who would be your most senior leader, and who is your most senior HR leader out of that group, as well as the reporting relationships between the leaders. If you happen to have 2 or more leaders that could be designated as the most senior, for the purposes of the survey, please choose just one. So here's an example of a leadership team survey setup. In this case, we have the president designated as the most senior leader and the vice president as the most senior HR leader. Both leaders report directly to the most senior, and your other reporting options would be reports indirectly or other, reporting to someone else. Please note that in this case there may have been an HR team member, such as an HR manager, but they have not been included in the leadership list as they would not technically fall under a senior leadership role. In this case, the organization has defaulted their vice president as the most senior HR leader. The HR manager would then fill out an employee survey, and this is a completely valid option as we always want to ensure that only the most senior leaders are included in this list to truly reflect the perceptions of your leaders against those of your employees. If you would like further assistance in determining your leadership list, we can send you sample copies of both the employee and leadership surveys so you can see which survey questions would pertain more to your different levels of senior management. Next are the employee survey details. Anyone who is not filling out the leadership survey will fill out this survey. As discussed previously, even high-level management can be included here, and they would be able to designate themselves at a senior level within the survey demographic questions. There are two options for employee survey setup: surveying your organization as a whole, or as a whole and then further breaking it down into what we call organizational units. And these are typically done by department or location. Units will give you the extra level of granularity when your results come out, and there's just one requirement, which is that you must have at least 10 respondents within each unit for confidentiality purposes. Even if you are only using this year to benchmark your organization's overall progress, it is recommended to include units up front, as later down the road the data will always be available to you. We will require the names of your units if you choose this option, the number of employees within each unit, or the overall total, and if applicable, the number of paper surveys required by group and by language preferred. Please note, we do not require leadership numbers to be included within your employee totals. They are tallied separately. So here are some examples of employee setups. The first is an organization with 3 leaders who is surveying as a whole and all online surveys. The second is also an organization with 3 leaders who in this case has chosen to survey as a whole and also included units with both paper and online surveys. Note how the language preference has also been designated as well. The final example shows a setup with even more granularity. There are 3 leaders. The employees are first designated into a group by location and then further down by department. On the result side of things, this organization setup will allow them to see totals for the location overall and then delve even deeper and receive data by departments within. You can create as many sub-levels as you like, as long as the numbers within these groups meet the minimum of 10 required. And please also note, for the data displayed directly, there must be 10 respondents. So if you have groups that are close to 10 employees at the time of setup, you'll want to be sure to promote the survey extra to these areas. Finally, we just need to know which survey method you'll be using: online, paper, or a combination of both. Paper surveys are now $1 per survey and are couriered to you postage paid. Your employees can submit the paper surveys at any postal box or office. Paper surveys are due by April 21st for the March-April timeframe or June 20th for May-June timeframes. The envelopes supplied are self-addressed, or if timing becomes a concern, you can simply courier the surveys to our express data address seen on the screen, and this will also be located in your participant kit for reference. For confidentiality purposes, if you are collecting the surveys to be mailed out in bulk, please have a survey box set up so employees can drop them off at their leisure and anonymously. Please note, paper surveys do come in bundles of 25, and you will only pay for the ones you order above our minimum charge of $100. Therefore, you only need to order the amount you require, as you will receive extras. Our online method is by far our most popular and is available anywhere there is an internet connection. Your employees will be prompted upon accessing the site their language preference of either French or English. Leaders will have their own individual links for access, and employees will have links generated by their employee groups. Many organizations may have employees that do not have access to a computer during their regular job roles. In these cases, some will opt to set up a communal computer so that the employees can still fill out the survey using the online method instead of paper. Once your setup is finalized and confirmed within the survey setup site, your links will be generated and paper surveys will be couriered. Links will be sent directly to your primary survey coordinator. Please note, certain changes to your setup after your links have been approved will have charges associated. To ensure your setup is 100% the way you'd like it, feel free to have other members of your team review and discuss your options. To promote the study throughout your organization, send out communications to your employees and management teams about 2 to 3 weeks in advance. We have provided sample email communications and posters that you can customize for your organization within your participants kit. About 2 to 3 days before your survey start date, send out your links, again using the sample communications, and paper surveys can be distributed right on the start date. To ensure you receive high-level response rates, we recommend engaging your leadership and management teams to promote the study directly to their employees. We found the more the management is engaged, the higher the employee response rates are. Some organizations in the past have even aligned the announcement of study participation with an already existing meeting so that all employees and management are present and can talk about the study within a group setting. So let's take a look at the links file, which includes all employee, leadership, HR, and response rate links. The links will be generated to reflect the setup options that you have approved. Once an employee or leader accesses the survey, a new unique link for that person will be generated. Please communicate to your employees that it's best to copy and save or bookmark this link in case that they do have to stop the survey and then restart at a later time. This new link will allow them to do so. Once the survey is successfully submitted, you will receive a thank you message confirming successful submission. Please note, it is very important to let your employees know that they should not share the links they receive as they are coded specifically for the groups that the employees belong to. If link sharing does occur, we will do our best to remove the surveys under the correct group. However, this is not always possible. Here is a sample links file. At the bottom of the file, you can see that there are tabs for each of our employee, leader, HR, and response rate links. Looking at the employee tab in this example, we have an organization who has included organizational units. In this case, each employee will receive the link for the group that they fall under. An overall link for the organization highlighted in yellow here has also been created. This link is to be disregarded and not sent to any member of your team unless they do not fall under one of your unit links. If you choose to survey as a whole with no units, you would only receive this overall link and all employees would get the same link. The next tab is the Leadership Links tab. Each leader will receive their own individual link, which is designated by their job role title. It is important that leaders do not share links and that they only fill out a leadership survey, not both an employee and leadership team survey. The next tab is the HR tab, which is only one link and, as discussed previously, is typically filled out by an HR team member or group of people. No return link is generated for this survey, so if you have to stop the survey before it's completed, once you return, this same link will bring you back to where you had left off. The last two tabs are used to monitor your response rates for both employees and leaders. To monitor your response rates, you would click the URL link and log in using the username and password. Once you have accessed the site, you will see a list of link codes as detailed beside the employee units. These begin with EBSME, followed by a code for the units. In this case, we're using 0640 to 0646. As per confidentiality, unit names do not appear on the online site, but are referenced in this file so you can see what groups may need an extra reminder to meet your minimum response rate. This is the same for the leaders. Their codes would be listed so that you can verify all the leaders have submitted their surveys. Should you be unable to review your response rates, we'll also send you a weekly response rate update so that you can ensure that your eligibility requirements are met. Once you have sent out your links and/or paper surveys, your team will begin filling out and submitting. As before, the final due dates for March and April are April 30th for online leadership and employee surveys and April 21st for paper copies of the employee survey. The dates for May-June are June 30th for online employee and leadership surveys and June 20th for the paper surveys. Both time frames have June 15th as the deadline for the HR survey. And of course, these are our dates when the survey site will no longer be accessible, so please communicate your chosen dates to your employees internally. To be eligible for the Best Employers competition, you must meet minimum response rates depending on your organization size, and they are as follows. If you have 10 or less leaders, we require a 100% response rate, which is the most case for most small and medium organizations, or if you have 10 or more, it's a 90% response rate. For employees, it depends on your organization size. So if you have 50 to 80 employees, it's an 85%. For 81 to 150, it's 80%. 151 to 200 is 70%. 201 to 350 is 65%. And 351 to 399 is 55%. If your response rates are not where they should be, you can always choose to extend your survey time frame and let your team know they now have a new deadline. Or to boost response rates at the start of the survey, some organizations have even created internal competitions between the groups by giving away free tidbits or a coffee or pizza lunch to the first group to have all their surveys submitted. Once your team has completed their survey timeline, feel free to contact us to confirm your eligibility for the Best Employers list. Throughout the process, your participants' kit is a fantastic reference. Included in the kit is a complete summary and overview of the process, sample email communications and posters for your use, a list of technical requirements to ensure everyone is able to access the survey, and there is a test link that you can try as well as some other technical details that you'll want to pass on to your IT team. After the survey time cycle closes, the data team will begin generating your results. The key and immense value to your participation in the study is that it gives you an unparalleled in-depth snapshot of what your employees or leaders are thinking as it relates to our 21 engagement driver model. And these drivers are critical to how well your organization runs. It also shows the alignments and gaps between your employees and leaders. New this year, we have our Quick Results option, which allows you to get results within a week of the survey cycle closing. Quick Results will supply you with your overall scores for the 6 core engagement questions, the 21 driver overall scores, and up to the first level of your unit scores. It is sent as an Excel data file, and the cost is $1,000 for the base plus $25 per unit. If you're interested in quick results, please update your data team representative a minimum of 3 weeks prior to your internal start date. Complete in-depth reporting for the March-April cycle is available on June 15th, and for May-June it becomes available on August 15th. If you would like more information about our in-depth reporting options, just let us know and we'll send you our reports and services guide. Or you can join us on April 17th for Making the Most of Your Results webinar at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. If you opt not to purchase any of our more in-depth options, complimentary results highlighting your 6 core engagement scores will be sent to you automatically. We will notify all winners of their status in early fall, and we ask that you keep this information quiet until the publication date. Your exact ranking will remain unknown until the publication as well. If you do not place, we'll let you know of your status, and of course, your organization's name will never be publicly mentioned or otherwise. We have 3 other lists that you can choose to qualify for as well, and they are the Best in the GTA, which is published in late fall, the Best in Quebec, which will be published in the spring of 2015. You can see the current winners right now in La Presse magazine, and the Green 30 list, which is published just around Earth Day of 2015 in Maclean's magazine. If you are a winner, it's your time to shine, and we'll send you our winner's kit so that you can make the most of your achievement. If you are interested in finding out more information about our past or current winners, you can visit our website at bsmestudycanada.com. So we're thrilled to be working with you this year. If you have any questions in the upcoming weeks, feel free to contact us. And of course, best of luck to all of you. I just want to thank you so much for your attendance today. And if you have any questions, please press *6 to unmute your phone.